tell us from the standpoint, investing to drive financial inclusion, what are the things that you will look out for to ensure that it's in place to put in more investments?
Well, as I was saying on the panel, I think we want to invest in companies that are reducing the cost of distribution because we understand that bank branches are not going to be sufficient to reach the 100 million adults that you have in Nigeria. And we can see the results. It's just 40 million people who are banked. So we think that if we have things like last mile agent networks, where small mom and pop stores can then become micro branches for banks and help deliver these services at lower cost to the customers, that will be a big push for financial inclusion. So we have done an investment in Nigeria, it's called Pagatech, which runs these small agent networks that allow banks to get out of their big branches and reach the underserved populations. So that's number one. I think number two, what's necessary is reducing the cost of information. Because what happens is, even if you have agent networks, you are dealing with individuals that are invisible to the formal financial system. They don't have a financial file, they don't have a bank account. So how can we take data from the increasing number of smartphones and other alternative ways to KYC and underwrite these thin file customers? So we've invested in companies that take your cell phone data and create a credit score out of that, and then allow financial institutions to lend to you. And then I think the third thing is, if you have low-cost distribution and you have a low-cost way of getting information about the customers, what are the things that you can then funnel through this low-cost distribution to the customer? And that requires a reorientation. So we have invested in a company called MicroEnsure that takes big insurance products, chops it into small pieces, and allows people to pay for it through their prepaid credit. We've invested in a company called Off-Grid Electric that allows people to get solar panels on top of their homes and pay micro leases through cell phones. So these are the three big investment themes for Omidyar Network to drive financial inclusion.
Let's look at the outlook for Nigeria and Africa, because Nigeria and Africa seeks to be a key hub for attracting key investments in areas like fintech that will drive innovation and transform the economy. So what's the outlook like? What is it, people like your Omidyar and others looking at in the years to come?
I think the outlook is very bright. I know I'm saying what a lot of people at this conference will say, but for Omidyar Network, Nigeria is the key country in Africa. It has our biggest portfolio. We invested in Flutterwave, we invested in Pagatech, we invested in CC Hub here. So number one is just the size of the market here, right? It's 180 million people. This next country in Africa is Ethiopia with 100 million people. So there's a big delta. It's just the size of the market. Second, I think, is the vibrancy of the startup ecosystem, the entrepreneurial spirit. Because I like to say I'm from India, and everyone in India is a hustler. And every Nigerian is also a hustler. And you need hustlers to crack this difficult market. And so we see a lot of entrepreneurial energy. And it's exemplified by companies, incubators like CC Hub and so on. And I also see the regulator making big strides towards creating an environment that is conducive to startups. So for example, NIBS is creating a national real-time payment system, which will be incredible for many startups. So both the market, the entrepreneurial energy, and the regulations are coming together. I think Nigeria is at a flux, and things will go really fast from here.